even in my weakened state, I was
king
still
without
able,
a crown.
Yeah,
yes.
He's your bunny. I don't think you guys say that in America. In Australia or in cricket, if you like get the same guy out over and over again, he's your bunny. Like Darryl Cullinan was Shane Warne's bunny. Anyway, so if like you own someone,
I like
you're
the
their bunny.
quick move on
like,
from that.
Yeah, it's like Josh Allen, apparently not in the regular season, but he's Patrick Mahomes' bunny in the postseason. It's just what we say. It's nothing bad about that.
No, I just.
That's allowed. There's play on. No flags on that
no,
play.
Sure, no, there's a lot of jokes running through my head, and I'm trying to decide which ones of them I can get away with.
I don't like this addition to the show.
It's fine.
No, this is
Year 4, we didn't need this.
this is heading into dangerous territory.
Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Happy Hour. Connor Rogers, Matthew Berry, Jake Croucher, who taught us all a new.
I just have a very important question after
Great
just learning
term.
that. Yeah, I have a very
Use it
important.
with your friends. Impress them.
I have a very important question here, and this is specifically for you, Connor J. Rogers. Are the Jets the NFL's bunny?
No.
No.
Planet Earth's bunny.
Yeah, right. The sporting world.
It goes
The
broader
sporting
than
world.
just the National Football League.
Yeah, just all of the universe's bunny.
Yeah.
Them and the Buffalo Sabres trading the playoff drought streak.
But that's another good example. The Jets were Tom Brady's bunny for a long time.
They were.
Until
exactly.
Mark Sanchez went into Foxborough.
Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan went into Foxborough. and
Rex
got the
Ryan
win.
went into Foxborough.
Yeah, that's fair. Good
Yeah.
correction.
Just want to clarify that.
Yeah.
Plenty of trade deadline.
Yeah.
Actions
It's
today.
been a tough run for Jets fans.
Sure.
Mark Sanchez has had a couple of bad months here.
Well, the good news for Jets fans, the Jets draft enthusiasts drink for free today, gang.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
because now they have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years.
If you like draft picks.
And the Jets.
And the Jets.
Wow.
Today is for you. You guys drink free.
Rare.
There's no question. This has happened before where the Jets have had high draft picks, where they've had a bountiful amount of draft picks. The question is, can they nail them, or can they?
Got to get the quarterback.
Got to get the quarterback.
Because the funny thing is, some of the guys they just traded, like Sauce Gardner, they did nail a lot of
Yes,
those
they
rebuilding
did.
picks. Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, Breece Hall. But when you don't hit on the quarterback, it doesn't matter quite often. It's crazy to say.
No.
But you have to hit on that pick, and
It is.
we'll try it again.
It is the most important position in professional sports.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
Can't win without it.
See, I think for the most part, the response to the Jets trade has been positive on the Jets side, that this is the right thing. Have seen this idea, though, that, draft picks, they're just lottery tickets. It's like, well, that's how you got Sauce Gardner and Quinn Williams in the first place.
Yeah,
you need a quarterback. You need assets to go and get a quarterback. This is just a complete no-brainer from the Jets. Like A+, 10 out of 10. Also, that doesn't mean it was a bad trade for the Colts either, who are in position, my Colts, to win the Super Bowl this year. So go for it, particularly when you're getting a player of Sauce Gardner's caliber.
Who's 25 years old.
Yeah, the last chance to
Welcome to
wear
the
that.
team. Welcome to the team, Sauce. Welcome to the shoe. We're all for it here. But to get a player of his caliber at your most glaring position of need, I get it there as well. Win-win trade. I'm not sure what the Cowboys are doing, but good stuff from the Jets and the Colts.
No, the only Sauce is the only one. Like Williams makes sense. All the other deals that I think they made make sense. The Sauce one is the only question for me, and I get they got a haul, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they got Adonai Mitchell, and they get the 2 first-rounders, and so I get that, and we'll talk about that. But he's a young cornerstone player who is you're in a media market where you don't have much to sell, but he's a popular player with the fans, right? So you're selling one of the faces of the franchise who is young, talented, and under contract. Like, you got an extension with this kid. So it's just, that's the weird one to me.
Surprising.
I get it. You got 2 first-rounders. You got a talented but underperforming young wide receiver, which is an area of need for the Jets. And we'll talk about him in a second. But it's more of a football discussion than a fantasy one. But it's a weird one to me.
It's definitely surprising, right? But I just think everybody has a price. And the Colts, after weeks, apparently, if you listen to Jets GM Darren Muji, of asking for him, they went to a price that the Jets were like, we're going to meet that. We're going to go with that one.
Here's the thing. I love my quarterback. I love Daniel Jones. He's been fantastic this year. That pick this year is going to be like the 25th pick in the draft or something. But the following year, the reality is that you've bought equity in a team that has Daniel Jones as its quarterback. Like, Daniel Jones is not Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. They're guaranteed pretty much each year to be a playoff team if they're healthy. Daniel Jones, the wheels could just fall off. The infrastructure get worse. The offensive line can get injuries. Then all of a sudden, you're looking at a potential top 10 pick. So, I think it was an incredible day of work from the New York Jets.
Maybe. Although I think this is a perfect example of right coach, right player. Daniel Jones was the 6th overall pick in the draft. And I know a lot of people at the time thought he went a little bit high, but it wasn't a crazy reach. They're he probably should have gone in the 16 to 20 range.
Sure.
But most people, Connor, you and I didn't know each other for that particular year, but I don't know. Did you have a first-round draft grade on him?
Top of the second. But to be fair, I don't really curve quarterbacks like a lot of people do.
Okay.
So when you hear me say top of the second-round grade for a quarterback or second-round grade for a quarterback, it's not that I think they're terrible. It's just that I don't anoint every quarterback prospect as a top 5 pick.
Right.
Where teams do the same thing, by the way. You just don't see that in the NFL. Teams draft quarterbacks in the top 10 that they have second-round grades on all the time because it's a quarterback.
Right.
So your point stands, Matthew, that we're not acting like Daniel Jones is like what Brock Purdy became.
Right.
Where it's whoa, 7th-round pick that came out of nowhere. The talent is supposed to have been there.
Daniel Jones was a guy that overperformed relative to the talent around him at Duke, and then got into a terrible situation in New York where they surrounded him with no talent whatsoever. But still gutted out of
some moments.
Had some moments his rookie year. Obviously, wins a road playoff game. So I don't know. I don't think. I think a second year in Steichen's system, and I don't think they lose any major free agents. I think. Anyway, I think he's an above-average game manager, and I don't say that as an insult. I think that's in that offense.
I think your median expectation for the Colts next year is that they're not going to be the same world-beating forces this year because just gravity drags you back more to the middle of the NFL. Yeah. But the average expectation they'll be a 9-10 win type of team, right? Next year on average.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
But there's I don't know what it is, a 25% chance that pick is in the top 10, just because that's what happens in the NFL. Yeah. Attrition happens. The Ravens were just 1-5 when they came to the season as Super Bowl favorites. Just weird stuff happens in the NFL.
Yeah, listen, you're not one player away, obviously, for the Jets, and so for Aaron Glenn and the entire organization, you're if we can get more picks here, and you can always package picks to do much. So, So again, Sauce was a weird one to me, but let's break down. This is a fantasy football show, Connor, so let's talk fake football.
We have trade deadline impacts. We're going to get through all of the big moves that affect us in fantasy. After that, though, we got keep it open or close it out. We're always answering your start-sit questions on Wednesdays and Back to the Futures to close the show with our best futures bets. Let's get right into it here because we had a move that struck very early in the trade deadline final day yesterday. Jakobi Meyers goes from the Raiders, finally gets out of the Raiders, goes to Jacksonville. Yeah. I think this is one, Matthew, where you look around at it and go, okay, well, what is the impact? Because on paper, this is a crowded Jacksonville wide receiver room, but on the injury report, it actually could be thin very early on.
For sure. I mean, obviously, Travis Hunter is already out. Let's see, Brian Thomas Jr. He's dealing with this is it a high ankle?
The classic high ankle. That's a low-grade high ankle.
I don't know what that means. It just sounds bad. I think there's a certain scenario where Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't play this weekend, or if he does, he's less than 100%. So then you're sitting there with Travis Hunter, and who knows when he's coming back, right? He's on IR. So Jakobi Meyers, who wanted out, who's been productive, basically likely replaces. At full health, he likely replaces Travis Hunter as their primary slot guy, but he can play inside and out, as can Parker Washington. I think that Diami Brown also, I think, in the concussion protocol. So to your point, I think that in an ideal world, until Travis Hunter comes back, in an ideal world, you've got Parker Washington can play. I think it's Parker Washington, not in that order. It's BTJ, Jakobi Meyers, Parker Washington in that order when they go 3 wide, and I think it's Meyers and BTJ when they're 2 wide. Right? It's sort of what I think happens here, at least this week. It's going to take Meyers a little while to get up to speed. I do think Parker Washington could still be a viable, low-end wide receiver 3 in PPR leagues this week only, because it's going to take a little while for Meyers to get up and BTJ's banged up. But long-term, I think, first Sunday of next year, in theory, BTJ, Jakobi Meyers in the slot, Travis Hunter on the outside, or they swap back and forth because
move them around.
I don't know that it moves up Trevor Lawrence anymore this week. We're going to get to him and close it, keep it open, close it out. I guess it helps him because it's another viable pass catcher, but I don't know that it moves the needle for you feel good about Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, by the way, the Jags are 1.5-point dogs in that game in Houston, and Davis Mills is expected to start. CJ Stroud's in concussion protocol, and the reporting has been that's trending in the right direction. Yeah. I don't think the Jags are amazing, but how are they dogs against Davis Mills?
Texans defense is viewed that highly. Yeah. It really is, whether you agree or not.
It's Davis Mills. He didn't look great.
But neither is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has been inconsistent, and they're banged up on the offensive side here.
Yeah, I think
this is a game that I personally wouldn't even think about touching. Way too many variables.
No, I'm all in Jags. Screw it. Jags win.
Jags Be a man that takes a stand.
Jags plus 1.5?
Yeah.
Somebody
the 16th best team in the NFL gets it done on the road in Houston against Will Anderson and friends. I think fantasy-wise, I think the biggest impact is just Brian Thomas Jr.'s ceiling, again, gets diminished. It's been gradually diminishing, but this hurts him. Parker Washington, I do think is going to continue to be viable because he is still the slot guy. And he showed what he could do against the Raiders, where he was Trevor Lawrence's number one option. There's a degree of comfort there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Trevor Lawrence is QB 18 on a points per game basis so far, and that's been pushed up by some rushing touchdowns, which you don't always expect from the Traveler. I think moving forward, Jakobi Meyers is probably a low-end wide receiver 3. I think Brian Thomas Jr. probably a low-end wide receiver 2 until, again, it just hasn't been the kind of year we hoped from him. But, on the season, he's wide receiver 39 in points per game. Now, he's been better recently, but, to your point, I just think he's got a 21% target share with Jakobi Meyers there, who's always been a pretty good target earner in his career. I think that comes down here. Aaron Cashman asks, guys, Parker Washington or Xavier Worthy rest of season? Wow. It's amazing that that's a question.
Xavier Worthy still.
Xavier Worthy, I agree with you. Give me Patrick Mahomes over Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball. Xavier Worthy's still going to be pretty much an every down player and just have an explosiveness that Parker Washington doesn't. And I do think that, again, Myers will take some of the slot targets. Washington can play outside, Connor, but that's not where you want him.
Yeah,
right.
We like him as a slot merchant and a slot merchant only.
Exactly.
Yeah, him and Brenton Strange.
Yes.
Just different variables of slot merchants.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, by the way. Brenton Strange is likely come back in about 2 weeks.
They missed him a lot in this offense. They clearly have. I like Jakobi Meyers' floor now in this offense just because I think, man, it does not look good for Brian Thomas Jr. this year. And it's when you hear Liam Cohen speak about it, it's not reassuring.
No.
Either. They clearly wanted a veteran wide receiver that they could rely on in this offense.
Yeah, I think the real strange thing is that he's not going over the middle and putting his body on the line on those plays, which they're clearly not happy about. And
now he's hurt.
And now he's hurt.
He's got some alligator arms to him a little bit.
I agree. Yeah, the thing with him as a prospect always was he's this freak athlete. He's got great size. He could take the top off the defense, throw him a screen, and he can run by you. But like everything else in the middle, not to play hindsight because I liked him as much as anyone, was a work in progress.
Yeah.
And this year it's kind of looked like a work in progress.
He's the first ever Mac Jones merchant in the history of the NFL.
Oh, Kendrick Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne as well.
Who's the second? But he's the second Mac Jones merchant.
Fair. Yes. It's unbelievable. The man can only succeed with Mac Jones. Build Trevor Lawrence and he can't do it.
Build the entire plane out of Mac Jones is what they say. Let's look at the Raiders side of this.
But either way, to your point, Jakobi Meyers being a veteran here and for them going out, and at least while he goes from Las Vegas to Jacksonville, I mean, the Jags are in it. The Raiders just have no chance. The Jaguars, they're favorites to make the playoffs.
Yeah. And they're plus 300 to chase down my Colts in the AFC South, which they won't be doing. Colts in that division.
Course. No.
But the schedule's pretty friendly.
Yeah.
They're probably going to play Davis Mills this week.
Yeah.
And we'll win that game, as I've declared, on this national streaming service. So, yeah, the Jags are very much in the hunt. They're going to be playing meaningful games the rest of the way.
Which I just think helps the sort of, he wanted out.
Look at
just, I think, a fresh start.
They're still going to play the Titans twice.
Yeah,
they get to play
you're
the
right.
Jets. Jets have no humans left.
Home to the Chargers, so that's a West Coast team traveling east. At the Cardinals, right. Week 14 against the Colts are tough, but right. Week 16 at the Broncos, tough, but you're right. 2 games against the Titans, game against the Jets. Cardinals don't scare you. They get Davis Mills this week. Yeah, I mean, they're
5-3, and they have no game is a guaranteed win in the NFL, but they have 3 pretty close to just chalk them up wins. 2 against the Titans and 1 against the Jets. That's 8. You probably only need 1 or 2 more, and then you're in. So,
you're right. Yeah, fair enough.
Producer Steven is going to have a nervous January watching his Jags get stomped by the Chiefs.
Whatever bar it was.
I was just going to say he's going to have to go to that sad Jaguars bar in New York City.
It's 8 people.
Exactly.
4 Blake Bortles jerseys.
Right. Mark Brunell jerseys.
Yeah.
Tony Boselli jerseys. It's all
odd teal shots when they score.
It's going to be great. They'll be plus 7.5 in Buffalo and lose by 20.
We should do the show from there.
No, we shouldn't.
We should.
No, we should do the show from there.
We should do the show for there. I'm 1,000%.
I think it's a health risk.
If they make the playoffs, we should do the show.
We should do from the share.
That's what I'm going to.
Even by the way, it can just be the 3 of us in an iPhone.
Oh yeah, no, we don't look like this.
Yeah, we don't need NBC to pony up money. We'll just go there and we'll stream live on my Instagram or something. We'll do a show from there.
I think I can go. They'll cancel my green card if I go to that bar. I can't be seen in that bar with Jags fans. It'd be too weird.
Fine. Lawrence will be down. Lawrence doesn't care.
All right, the Raiders side of this, guys, and yes, there is a Raiders side to this. We got to hear from their offensive coordinator Chip Kelly on Jack Besh's role post Jakobi Meyers.
What kind of similarities do you see between his game and Jakobi's game?
Yeah, I don't compare anybody to anybody, so I don't see any similarities between that. I think everybody's their own individual, so I've never looked at a player and said, this guy reminds me of that guy. It's just, what is that guy's strengths and what are his weaknesses, and how do you improve this? How do you lean into the strengths and improve the weaknesses?
What do you think this trade means for Trey Tucker, and is it safe to say he's the WR1?
Yeah, I don't look at WR1s or WR2s or WR3s or W2s. You know, we're trying to figure out whoever catches the ball and runs really fast with it in the direction of the end zone is really good for us.
Wow.
Now,
shout out
first
to
up,
W2 forms.
I hope he looks at his W2s.
Yeah.
First off, shout out to whoever asked those two questions, because those are secret fantasy football questions that they're designed.
Without a doubt.
It's clear that whoever asked those questions are like, that's.
I got some roster decisions to make this week.
Yeah, exactly.
I got Jamar Chase on a bye.
Yeah, come on, I've got some tough flex spots. Help me out here. What I would say is that I actually think your guy Brock Bowers, who was already the number one tight end in fantasy or close to it, right? I just think 40% target share moving forward.
What's the record?
I think they likely go to more 2 tight end sets here. They try to get Michael Mayer on the field even more, which helps in theory Ashton Genty and gets those 2 guys. Trey Tucker is does he get a small bump? Sure, but he's got an 18% target share. He's a boom bust wide receiver 3. Chance to take it out. He is a guy that can catch the ball and run really fast. You just got to get him the ball, which has been inconsistent for the Raiders. Jack Besh, this possession kind of slot guy. Connor, I know this is somebody that you really liked coming out of college.
I really did. A bigger-bodied slot guy, too. He's about 220 pounds. I thought he had him and Colston Loveland, I thought had the best hands in the draft. They caught everything that came their way. He's a good route runner. It's been a little surprising to me that he hasn't been able to get on the field. And obviously they see him at practice every day and all summer. So you would think they know what they're doing. But now it just feels like the opportunity is there. If Besh at some point in this season started to become this 5-catch guy every week, it wouldn't shock me at all. I'm actually surprised it took this long to maybe find a role for him, if they do find one.
The issue as well with the Raiders, if you're looking to buy shares of an offense, don't look at Las Vegas. This offense is a complete mess.
Right.
Schematically, why is Ashton Genty getting hit behind the line of scrimmage every time, but behind an offensive line that was competent last year, and now it's just a complete mess? Ashton Genty has no chance on this team to really do anything. Geno looked a bit better against the Jags, but still doesn't look like Seattle Geno at all. And I don't know. Chip Kelly, just the Raiders black, just doesn't suit him. He looks like he's just throwing it on. It's not working in Las Vegas.
2 quick things. First off, rest of the season, I'll just ask you, Connor, in terms of again, given the offense, I know we love Besh's talent, but even in a scenario where they sort of get the offense rolling, rest of the season, would you rather have Jack Besh or Parker Washington?
Parker Washington. We haven't seen an ounce of Jack Besh.
That's the problem. We just don't think this offense is going to produce enough fantasy points outside of Bowers and Genty that you feel like you can consistently start those players week in, week out. But
I will say, if you're in a dynasty league, try to lowball somebody for Jack Besh.
Okay.
If you think they'll take a late pick because they're just this guy's done nothing for me, my roster's crowded, I would take a flyer on him in dynasty for a late pick. Because I still think he's really talented. Yep. The Raiders' offense has been horrible. It can't be this bad next year and the year after that. They probably have to fix a lot of different things schematically. He'd be a buy low for me in dynasty.
Yeah. By the way, it also just doesn't feel like Dante Thornton's doing anything at all.
He's MVS. At his best form, he's MVS. That's what he was.
This is not helpful.
All right.
Not helpful at all.
Another move. I think this one actually is pretty exciting, guys. The Seahawks acquiring Rashid Shaheed from the Saints. Jay, I know you loved what you've seen from Sam Darnold this season, and Sam Darnold gets even more help.
It's incredible. The most incredible thing about the Sam Darnold season is that it's really JSN. JSN is the only needle mover in that offense in the passing game, and Darnold has still been able to, statistically, the advanced stats, be the best quarterback in football so far in terms of EPA per play, in terms of PFF grade, right up there in QBR, passer rating. And so Rashid Shaheed, who's an excellent wide receiver, who just hasn't had a quarterback, and when he has had, the best quarterback he's played was Derek Carr, when Derek Carr was having his better moments. And to inject him into this offense.
With which offensive coordinator?
Yeah, with Clint Kubiak. And
who had him in New Orleans.
And this offense is built off of taking play-action deep shots, and that is what Rashid Shaheed was built for. So I think it's a dream marriage. We'll see. The only concerns are, one, you got JSN, who's been the best wide receiver in the sport of football.
Yes, sir.
Has been sporting close to a 40% target rate, and you have a very low pass rate over expectation team. At the same time, though, like, there can be room for more than one guy in the offense, and so Rashid Shaheed is now clearly the number 2 in the pass game.
On the season, he's wide receiver 35 on a points per game basis, averaging a little over 11 points per game. And so you feel like that's his floor.
Yeah.
Again, better offense, more efficient, better quarterback, a coordinator who knows how to use him. He was under Clint Kubiak when Shaheed sort of had his breakthrough from like, hey, here's this guy that returns kicks or punts and, why can't we get this guy in the field more? And then, under Kubiak, they did get him in the field more, and he sort of had a breakout. Ved FF Happy Hour regular says Shaheed or Pierce. Your man Alec Pierce.
Pulling at the heartstrings.
Rest of the season, Jay. I'll give this one to you because he is your guy.
I think you want Rashid Shaheed just because Pierce is in competition with Michael Pittman and Josh Downs and Tyler Warren, and they run the ball so much for Jonathan Taylor. Shaheed is there's a bit more upside there because we don't know what his role is going to be, but we know the talent is there, and schematically he in theory fits really well. And Shaheed comes in being the number 2 option in the pass game, whereas Pierce is the number 3, I would say, behind Pittman and Warren a lot of the time, and Downs mixing in too.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, just this week I have Pierce 5 spots higher than Shaheed, but I could certainly see that long term. It certainly hurts Torrey Horton, who we thought, we finally got the Torrey Horton breakout game against my Commanders, and now this one's tough. So, Horton, love him you talk about Jock Besh in Dynasty. Love Torrey Horton in Dynasty. Cooper Kupp, one of my favorite players in the NFL, but doesn't feel like you can't start even if you knew Cooper Kupp was 100% healthy, you can't start him anymore.
Yep.
He shouldn't be rostered in leagues right now, and so
I think the thing with Shaheed is that the advanced stuff on Shaheed has always been off the charts in terms of his efficiency, his yards per route run, his ability on deep balls, his ability to separate. And his environment has been so poor his whole career, basically. And so there is a chance that Rashid Shaheed is like the 16th best wide receiver in football, and we just don't know it because he hasn't had a chance to show it. Now we get a chance to show it. So that's why I like the upside there.
Seattle's 3rd in the NFL in terms of wide receiver target share this season. And so, you see every once in a while a moment from A.J. Barner or Elijah Arroyo, but it's really, on those wide receivers. And now you add somebody like Rashid Shaheed. Could you see a scenario, Connor? Again, we'll figure out we'll get more information and data this weekend when we sort of see how it all plays out. But could you see a scenario where you've got Shaheed and Horton on the ends and they move JSN back to the slot?
That makes a ton of sense. That would be really savvy thinking if that's what
I just think that JSN is having perhaps the greatest wide receiver season we've ever seen, and he's doing it from the outside. I think that But
he was awesome from the slot last year. He plays in and out.
Maybe it opens up for him to balance both.
Yeah.
Because every team that has an elite number 1 wide receiver, they move him around. The Cowboys have done with CeeDee Lamb. What do we got here?
This is Scott McClory. Pretty good.
JSN will be even more open, if that is even possible. Put his jersey on the wall.
We need a Seahawks 11. We need a Seahawks 11 jersey.
I like the alternate blue one, too. Seahawks have one of the best alternate jerseys in the sport.
Pretty good. Yeah, I got to talk to my friends at Fanatics, see if we can get a JSN jersey here. We absolutely need it. By the way, the one last thing I'll just say, because just since we talked about both the Raiders and now we're talking about the Seahawks. My second worst take of the year, I think, is Geno, because when the Seahawks traded Geno to Las Vegas, it was like, wait, what are you doing? Geno's fine. He's a solid quarterback. What do you do? There's no one else. You guys missed in the draft and everything like that. So what are you doing? And I guess they've decided to just sort of shut it down and just kind of rebuild. I'm like, all right, well, that makes sense that they're doing. And then they signed Darnold to this big contract. Yeah. I'm like, you had Geno and wait, what? You know what I mean? And
it's worked out brilliantly.
It has worked, given what we've seen from Geno this year and what we've seen from Darnold this year. They are smarter than me, Jay Croucher.
Nobody saw this. Darnold's an MVP candidate.
Dude, and legitimately so. But I'm just saying, that was my second worst take of the year.
What's the worst?
The worst take is with your Colts.
Uh-huh.
Like, I fully own this. Like, just two of the worst takes I've had all season long. This one was I was just sort of like, I don't understand what the Seahawks are doing, and it's clear that they were absolutely right. And then the second thing was the Colts when they named Daniel Jones the starter.
Right, yeah,
and I said, to my credit, I said, listen, Jones is actually a good. No, listen. I said to my credit, I said Jones is actually a good fit for Steichen's offense. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be competent. The issue is you're going to win 8 or 9 games, and you're going to lose a wild card game. You're never going to the Super Bowl with Daniel Jones. They need to see what they have in Anthony Richardson. That was my take, and it's clearly wrong because there's a very good chance they go to the Super Bowl with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, it's like 5-1.
Yeah, I mean that's unbelievable. Like, so I'm just saying. Shout out to your Colts, to Shane Steichen, Chris Ballard, the entire Colts organization. That's my worst take of the year. I'm owning it. I've apologized for it. I will continue to apologize for it.
Yes.
Worst take of the year.
Yeah. The hashtag isn't against the shoe, Matthew. It's for the shoe.
For the shoe.
Just for future notice.
For the shoe. But I was hashtag against the shoe.
Against the shoe.
At the
Never
moment.
be against the shoe. Always before the shoe.
At least the logic was right that he would be a good fit for Steichen's offense.
Yes.
And that they would be a lot better than they would be under Richardson. I didn't think he'd be this good.
I think a big lesson out of all this stuff is like sometimes you got to trust the infrastructure. Like Shane Steichen had shown that he was an excellent play caller and that he knew what he was doing with an offense. And Mike McDonald.
The Wrongler.
The Wrongler. Yeah,
That's
I like
good.
that from Stuntman Chuck.
The chat's on fire right now.
Stuntman Chuck, you got me.
The other thing with
Damn
Mike
it.
McDonald is like, all right, the Ravens' defense fell apart as soon as he left.
Right.
Mike McDonald is a really good coach.
Yes, he is.
So I just got to sometimes just trust the infrastructure. Also, apparently Pete Carroll doesn't have it anymore. Apparently this might be all over.
He is the oldest coach in the NFL.
Somebody said this to me, was watching all the games on Sunday. Just said, he looks old. I mean, I know
Like
he is.
finally,
he
but finally
is old.
looks old?
I know he is old, but he looks old. I don't know if the season's wearing on him or just what. That was the comment to me, to somebody who knows Pete and, for a long time.
I wonder if he behind the scenes just thinks like, I thought Geno would be better as well.
Yeah.
And he's not. Yeah.
And I don't know, is it Geno? Is it Chip Kelly's offense? Is it just who knows?
I don't think Chip Kelly's got his fastball either. But by what they're putting out on the field. Yeah. It's not great.
A good day from the chat right now. Aloha Brick says, the excuse-ler is maturing.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Ryan Oswald, though, probably disagrees. He said Barry's entire draft was his worst take of the year.
No, that's not true. I had some bad luck there. There's a couple of bad picks. But Chase Brown was obviously worked out to be a very bad pick, but you can't predict Joe Burrow.
But everybody was taking Chase Brown in that spot.
Yes, I mean,
that's fine.
Right.
No one's going to get on you for taking Chase Brown.
And Derrick Henry was bad. And then, again, the Xavier Worthy theory was right. He just, then he missed for the first 4 games. The idea was he was going to establish himself before Rice came back, and he just missed all that time. Yeah. My first round pick was Jaden Daniels. He's been terrible this year. He's mostly been hurt, and the few games that he's been fine, but he hasn't been all world. And that was honestly my worst pick was Daniels. But in a Superflex league, he was a top 3 pick across the board in fantasy. I had the 3rd pick. Nathan Southard says,
I'm taking him 4th.
Huh?
I thought we had Hurts over him. I thought you flipped to Daniels because
I said I had Hurts as ranked. I had Hurts ranked 4th, but my argument was that Hurts was the best value because of the way he was going a round later in single quarterback leagues, but in Superflex leagues those are the first 4 picks or 4 of the first 5. Anyway, Nathan Southard says, is Olave now boosted even more with poor quarterback play? I think he is. He's been sort of quarterback proof.
Right. Well, has to go somewhere.
Right.
It can't just be Juwan Johnson.
No, I mean, I think it will. So far, Juwan Johnson is the 14th best tight end in points per game. He's got almost a 19% target share. My expectation is he probably becomes the number 2 pass catcher after Olave in this Saints offense. Kamara has done. I will say in our league where there's no one available, I did pick up Devon Vele this morning. Well, somebody has to catch passes. They did trade picks for this current regime, Kellen Moore, traded picks to go get Devon Vele. So they clearly saw something in him, Connor. And now with the Rashid Shaheed out the window.
And he's a possession guy, so you hope for some kind of PPR floor. Man, logging on to our waivers this morning.
I mean, it's just
I shut it off.
It's ugly.
I shut it off.
There's just no one available.
I can't even fill out a lineup because of buys this week, but I didn't pick anyone up.
Yeah.
Because I'm not picking up Tyler Higbee for my flex.
It's awful.
Pop Douglas. I might have picked
No, I wanted Pop Douglas.
Oh, right. There's a bidding war.
Yes,
that's
Pop
how bad
Douglas
it was.
is a
There was
high
a bidding
commodity.
war in our league for Pop Douglas. There was a bidding war.
Somebody paid up for Pop Douglas.
Someone did. No one on this table. And we'll talk about him in the next segment here. The last thing, so anyway, I just think in deeper leagues, Devon Vele, him versus the Mason Tiptons of the world, I think Vele has a chance. But, I just think, to your point, Nathan, Olave just was already wide receiver 16, already has like a 29% target share. Just his volume goes up. I think this helps Juwan Johnson. A sneaky thing for all the talk about, I can't believe they traded Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams and all the moves and why they didn't trade Breece Hall. For all that, I thought an underrated move that could be very interesting for fantasy is Adonai Mitchell going from your Colts, where he was buried in the doghouse ever since he dropped the ball on the 5-inch line and cost them a touchdown and a loss.
And then got a holding penalty to call back Jonathan Taylor's 52-yard game winner.
It's a bad day for Adonai Mitchell.
So he had a very bad day, but now he goes to a Jets organization that after Garrett Wilson really doesn't have any wide receivers. It's Garrett Wilson and like the ghost of Alan Lazard. And so, it's why we like Mason Taylor. But Adonai Mitchell was a second-round pick out of Texas,
18 months ago.
Yeah.
It's not like he's like a second-round pick where it's like, it's definitely over. And it might be.
Tyler
but the Jets
Johnson,
are going to find out. Yeah,
there's opportunity there.
To show how dire it is for the Jets, Tyler Johnson over his last 2 games has each of those, he's caught 3 passes for 60-plus yards. It's like they're just looking for bodies to catch passes in this offense. So now Adonai Mitchell, the most important thing is he gets to play.
Right.
He gets to play. Somebody has to play in this offense besides Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor. It's going to be, maybe not first week, but it's going to be Adonai Mitchell. Let's see what he can do.
I think it's a really interesting opportunity because, again, this is somebody that was highly thought of coming out of college. Maybe, I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase it. Has some George Pickens to his game, both in terms of on the field and off the field.
I would call it focus issues.
Yeah, it's focus issue. That's a good way to put it.
All the talent in the world.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I had him 40th overall. He went 52nd, and he did not go 52nd because of lack of talent.
Yeah.
Right.
He had to catch that 50-yard touchdown pass to fumble it out of the end zone.
That's a great point, Jay. That's a great point.
I just think in an offense that where he doesn't have to be the one, where where Garrett Wilson is clearly, and then you've got a nice possession receiver in Mason Taylor.
Right.
Now you've got a guy that can take the top off the defense and. Can he fix the focus issues, if you will, expand his route tree? I don't know. I just thought that was a sneaky, underrated move of that trade that didn't get a lot of headlines.
When you play in a league like ours, you're turning over every rock right now.
1,000%.
And Adonai Mitchell, his utilization could be high the rest of the season. We're going to take our first break. When we're back, keep it open or close it out. We got your start-sit dilemmas answered right after this.
So we're playing each other this week.
What's the spread on that game?
45. He's like a 45-point favorite. No, Jaden, I will see. He should probably kill me.
No,
but
Jaden. You have Drake May and Matthew Stafford.
I do have those two.
You'd be benching him anyway.
I know Xavier Worthy.
He sucks.
No Chase Brown.
I just lost Tucker Kraft for the year.
You have Brock Bowers.
That's ridiculous.
I have my three superstars, J.S. Amon-Ra, Brock Bowers. None on bye. Yeah, we'll stomp you, Dustin.
I
We'll
agree.
stomp you.
I agree. You're a 45-point favorite.
A chubby stomping.
Yes, exactly. I will be your leather son. But here's what I will say about Torrey
Leather
Horton.
bunny.
Oh, Lord. Keep it open or close it out.
Leather bunnies. Pretty
yes, very good. Listen, we got all your start-sit dilemmas hopefully answered here. We're going to start with Trevor Lawrence against that Texans defense, Jay, that the markets fear this proposition for Jacksonville.
They should. It's a top 3 defense in Houston. And the Jags, I don't trust that offense to be resilient against elite defense. Trevor Lawrence, the thing you mentioned earlier, Matthew, where he is kind of cheating the system a little bit. No, not cheating the system. He's adding value with his legs and getting into the end zone with these rushing touchdowns, which is propping up otherwise suspect production. But I think he can probably do better than Trevor Lawrence this week against the Texans defense.
I'm closing the Traveler out to your point. This Houston Texans defense, even with Dave, and this is why I think they're probably favored, even with Davis Mills under center, 11.5 fantasy points per game to quarterbacks. That's what they're allowing. That is the best in the NFL or the lowest in the NFL. You see it right there in your screen.
Good margin.
They're better than the Broncos or the Bills or the Chargers or the Rams. The Texans have just shut down everyone. They're top 5 pass defense in yards per game, yards per pass attempt. And the Jaguars, to your point, again, Trevor Lawrence, when he's had good fantasy success, it's been these rushing touchdowns, which based on he's not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar Jackson. I don't know that you can count on, he is mobile, but he's mobile in a Justin Herbert sort of way, not in a guy you use around the goal line all the time. He's not Jackson Dart, I guess is my point. So I'm a QB 21 this week. I'm closing it out. I don't want him against the Texans, even if they do win.
Yes.
All right, moving over to running backs. David Montgomery against your Washington Commanders, Matthew. Believe it or not, under 12 points in 4 of his past 5 games for someone that is typically so reliable in fantasy.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm keeping it open on David Montgomery. I get it. Last couple of weeks, it hasn't been great. He's a little bit more touchdown dependent than you'd like. But now he gets Washington. Now he gets it's Cincinnati East is what he gets in terms of a defense. My Commanders over the last 4 weeks have given up 115 rushing yards per game to running backs. They're giving up 5 yards per carry. Detroit is a 9.5-point favorite. I bet you they close higher than that as well. I would take the Lions giving 9.5 in this one. I think the Commanders after last week, I think they've given up. They lost Jaden Daniels. They're so beat up. They're beat up on both sides of the ball. Their defense has been quietly hurt. As a defense that wasn't good to begin with has had a lot of injuries over the last couple of weeks in this season as well. And so I just think there's a very good chance Montgomery falls into the end zone in this one. I'm at running back 19 this week, top 20 play. I'm keeping it open.
Yeah, the games where he feasts is when they're up so much that they have the run script to just keep pounding and to get him into the end zone. And so this feels like a Dave Montgomery 15 carry type of game.
By the way, I don't know where this came from, but Sean Krukowski said, worst case scenario, Barry runs the board, squeaks into the playoffs, and wins the league. Oh my God, the Braggler is born.
Yeah.
I don't even know where this came from, but
I don't either.
I
don't either.
I'll put an end to this week.
Yes.
It's okay.
Are you paying bots?
I should. Maybe. I'm not, but I'd like to. So if you'd like to apply for a bot position to be a part of the Barry Army online.
Leather bots.
Yeah. Some leather bots. Anyway, the Braggler would be unbelievable. Yeah. I
wouldn't do the show next year if that happened.
You don't have the,
nor do I. But you don't have
the upside.
You don't. I don't have the horses. There are years where look, I'm going through the motions, right? I picked up Cedric Tillman. I picked up Devon Bailey in our league. Again, there's no one available, right? I picked up these guys. By the way, during the commercial break, this is hilarious. I was so convincing on Adonai Mitchell that Jay actually picked him up. Yeah. While I was looking at him, trying to decide if I wanted to drop somebody on this team, that my team's so terrible, I have Tyrod Taylor, Isaiah Davis, and Mason Taylor. So I can't get a 4th jet. But it sort of tells you how my season's going.
There's a limit on jets.
Right, there's a limit.
I like the 1.5 line, but for you, it's 3.5.
The 3.5.
Yeah.
By the way, and none of them are Garrett Wilson
or
Breece Hall.
Wow.
Or Justin Fields.
That's actually amazing.
That's how terrible my team is. So the chubby leather daddies picked up Adonai Mitchell.
For sure.
But I'm going through the motions for the competitiveness of the league and to try to, have a respectable showing, but I don't have
you don't have Lamar Jackson coming back to help the 1-5 Ravens make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't have the horses.
Yes. Raise the flags. Jay is going to squash some grapes, the likes of which have never been done.
Oh, yeah. My grapes will be squashed.
Looks that way.
Squishy grapes.
We won't be kneeling up 30 in this game.
No, you'll run it up.
Cover the spread.
I don't know if you've seen the 2007 Patriots, but that's who we'll be watching video of.
I think you are literally like a 40-point favorite, in terms of projections.
My team's a juggernaut.
Your team is great.
Yeah. Also,
my team
I've
is
got
not.
Quinshon Judkins, and now he's going up against his team who have no players left.
That's right.
More Quinton Williams, that's for sure in that one.
Yeah.
Our next running back, guys.
By the way, it's a theme of my team is that I have. So, my Browns player, I don't have Quinshon Judkins. I have Harold Fannin and Cedric Tillman.
And David Njoku stays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And David Njoku stays. I have all the players you don't want on the bad teams.
Yeah, it's a shame everyone was banned from taking Quinshon Judkins in the first 120 picks of our draft. No one was allowed to do it. Yeah.
Great. It was a great pick. No question. All right.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yes, sir.
He's got the Raiders.
He does.
But he also only has 8.5 points per game in his last 4. Is there any way you're still starting him, Matthew?
I am. I'm actually going to keep it open. First off, same sort of argument here as David Montgomery. Broncos are a 9.5-point favorite, right? They're home against Las Vegas. Since week 3, no team in the NFL, no team in the sport has allowed more rushing touchdowns than the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah. And so J.K. it's weird because he's actually run really well. The problem is he's not involved in the passing game, and I don't want to say he's been vultured because it's not like they get on the 3-yard line and they pull him for somebody else. It's just like they've been doing these dumb swing passes to R.J. Harvey on the 8, and he gets in there. R.J. Harvey gets 4 touches a game, but 3 of them go for touchdowns. It's kind of super annoying, but over the past 5 games, Dobbins is 71%. 71% of the Broncos' red zone rush attempts. When they get in close, they like Dobbins, they trust him. It's been some bad blocking, just some weird fluky play calling. So I don't think there's anything in the underlying skill set of the usage that's changed. He hasn't been used. He's a touchdown-dependent RB2, but in a game at home against Las Vegas where they're almost 10-point favorites, I think he gets into the end zone this week. I'm as a top 20 play. I'm keeping it open.
It's funny looking at that graphic of teams that have allowed the most rushing touchdowns because it's basically like, all right, Raiders 1, did you play Jonathan Taylor? Yep, you did. Number 2, Tennessee. Did you play Jonathan Taylor? Oh, yeah, you played him twice. So it's basically a Jonathan Taylor list.
Yeah.
But I do think that Dobbins, to your point, a lot of this is just, one, it's weirdness where the Broncos just keep playing these weird games. The Giants game was just weird. The Houston game was weird. They're playing from behind, having to throw.
Right.
And then the one game where they were playing in front is R.J. Harvey getting all the touchdowns. Yeah. So, yeah, I think Dobbins, I think he settles in as a rock-solid RB2.
All right, guys, how about Alvin Kamara that ends up not being moved as expected at the deadline? He's got the Panthers. This one is the worst of all we've mentioned so far. 3 straight games under 7 points. Matthew, I don't even know if the question is, do you start him? Question might be, are you even consider dropping him at some point?
I don't know how again, it obviously depends on your roster construction, what your league is, the depth, what you need.
League of assholes, you are not dropping.
But it's just it's a bad team, and he doesn't look like the guy that we remember, right? He's averaging career lows in receiving yards per game, target share this season. What's kept his fantasy value afloat the last couple of years has been he's been this PPR merchant. But that's now Chris Olave on this offense, and so he has no explosiveness. Last 5 weeks, he's running back 41 in points per game. Are you keeping a guy that's not even top 40? Are you keeping a running back that can't even crack the top 40 on an offense where there's not a lot of competition for touches? We love Alvin Kamara, but he's got 1 game in the last 5 with double-digit fantasy points, and they're not even using 11 touches per game. It just doesn't feel like this offense under Tyler Shuck. I'm closing it out on Alvin Kamara. And by the way, if he were available in my league, not our league, because our league we just had a bidding war of Adonai Mitchell. But in normal leagues, if Kamara was on the waiver wire, I wouldn't pick him up.
I don't think I would.
He's like a poor man's Devin Singletary. No, yeah. But I mean, he's something like that. He's just sort of he's just kind of he's just a snoozy flex play that you hope finds the end zone.
They don't score.
Right. There's not enough of a floor there.
Yeah, it's like Ezekiel Elliott on the Pats.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, exactly. Tyrone Tracy for me, Aloha Bricks. He asks Alvin Kamara or Tyrone Tracy rest of the season. I'll say Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, I think the Giants will be in the red zone more than the Saints, and that's how I answer that question. That it's not like Singletary looked great last week. Tyrone Tracy's opportunity should get a little better.
By the way, I just said Aloha Bricks, he's asking. I don't know if it's Aloha Bricks is a he. So I apologize. There's I just
yes,
we have
whoever you are.
We don't know the gender of Aloha Bricks. We just know Aloha Bricks is one of the regulars.
Yes, it's true. By the way, do you guys know that the Carolina Panthers are like heavy favorites to go to 6-4? Have a better record than the Chiefs?
Yeah.
There's a chance they could host a playoff game and be 10-point underdogs against the Lions.
Keep pounding.
Yeah, I was just going to say, keep pounding.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the wide receivers, guys.
Bryce Young, MVP.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Rome
We're doing a futures
Odunze.
bet. You can take that.
I don't want to.
It's just like your
it.
80-1 Giants bet last year, or your Saints to make the playoffs bet this year.
Bryce Young is more likely to get benched than win MVP this year. I think.
right.
Bryce Young's more likely to win MVP of a different
Enough
league.
Bryce Young. Rome Odunze is next. The goose egg is probably what you're thinking, but it's actually been under 6 points in 3 of his past 4 games after such a hot start for Rome Odunze here, Matthew. But it just seems hard to imagine a world where you could sit Rome Odunze.
Yeah, and I'm not going to.
Against the Giants?
I get it. Like, it's been tough, but I just feel like, to your point, it's a great matchup. You see it right there on your screen. He's my wide receiver 17. I'm obviously keeping it open on Rome Odunze. You mentioned the Giants and that matchup, Connor. They're giving up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. They've given up at least 1 touchdown to a wide receiver in every game this year, but 2. And so Odunze, I understand that they've had some fluky games, and like suddenly, DJ Moore's throwing to Caleb Williams,
right.
and they've done some, sort of goofy stuff here. But prior to last week, Odunze had only 1 game this entire season with a target share under 22%. He's still the focal point of this passing offense. It's too good of an offense. He's too good of a player. I'm keeping it open.
And you forgot the most important thing in his favor. He has a dad on Twitter that's not happy.
Oh, there you go.
And if there's
we
anything
love
else
the
we've
angry
seen,
dads.
It's a great variable.
The squeaky wheel dad, receiver dad, is undefeated.
And what's interesting is that the most famous one, the one that started the trend,
Odell
Beckham Sr.
immediately wins the Super Bowl.
Well, and I mean, not just that, but that's why they got rid of Baker.
Yeah,
that's
was
really
a wild
why. Like,
feud.
it's unbelievable when you think about sort of the Browns organization, and so that tweet, and the cut up of the YouTube videos is what sort of like led to Baker Mayfield leaving the Cleveland Browns, and Mayfield obviously bounced around a little bit until now. He's like, an MVP candidate this year, legitimately an MVP candidate, and about ready to sign an extension that probably will make him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Whereas the Browns currently have the most expensive quarterback in NFL history sitting on their bench, and they're in quarterback purgatory. They've got 4 quarterbacks. They don't know what they're doing. Like, no, it's honest. Like, other than Deshaun Watson, like, it set them down the path to try to desperately get Deshaun Watson, and that's obviously been a disaster on every possible level. And now, they're trying to figure it out with, Dylan Gabriel and maybe Shadur Sanders. They trade Joe Flacco within the division. Joe Flacco leaves Cleveland and suddenly becomes like,
Giants with Kenny Pickett.
Right.
Yeah.
Throws for 400 yards for the first time in his life.
Yeah.
You can't make it up.
He's averaging over 30 points a game with the Bengals. It's not his fault. If the Bengals could play defense, those tickets would have cashed of yours.
Yes.
All your Bengals tickets.
Yes, to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Tetairoa McMillan, next up on our list, under 50 receiving yards in 3 of his last 4 games here, Jay. But the bottom line is he still gets the looks, T-Mac.
Still gets the looks. It feels like he's had so many almost moments, but he hasn't really exploded for that T-Mac game that we've been waiting for. He's getting the targets. I mean, it was a little fraudulent, the Buffalo game, because they're playing from behind. It was a fake game after the first half. He got 10 targets and it was from Andy Dalton. I think the issue is that they're so effective running the ball, and that's the identity of the team, and they want to run the ball, and against the Saints, where they're 6-point favorites, they're likely going to have the game script to be able to do that. I'm still expecting that we're going to have this 140-yard, 2-touchdown game from T-Mac when Bryce Young is playing in comeback mode, but it's a little concerning that it's been 9 games and he hasn't had that game yet.
It's a little concerning, but it's also like, as you watch it, like, we love the talent. Right? Well, there's no question about Tetairoa McMillan's talent.
Yeah.
So and it just feels like they just haven't been, like, it just feels like, there's, like, he's missing by inches.
He can be Nico Collins.
That's right.
If everything just worked out right, and honestly, C.J. Stroud's better than Bryce Young.
Right.
So
Yes.
I'll relax. But, in theory, the player could be Nico Collins.
Yeah. So the talent is too good. The target share is too significant. 38% target share over the last 2 games for Tetairoa McMillan. Then you think about this Saints defense. The matchup is so good. second most touchdown passes allowed on deep passes. So Tetairoa McMillan, who is obviously not only the number one option, but the number one option deep for Carolina. He's had multiple deep targets in every single game this year but one. I'm at wide receiver 24. I'm keeping it open. I get the questions, but I'm banking on the talent and the matchup here.
Our next wide receiver, guys, the man that there was a bidding war for in the League of Assholes, Pop Douglas. He's got the Bucks.
He's a chubby leather daddy.
Chubby, yes, new team member of the Chubby.
No, he's playing defense, just didn't want anyone else to have him. He'll be on my bench this week.
20 points last week. Not crazy utilization, but that should improve with the injury to Kayshon Boutte, Jay, where Douglas should be a factor this week.
He should. It's still just such a strange Patriots passing game to figure out. Like, I really thought Stephon Diggs was going to ignite, and that just largely hasn't happened. And then Kayshon Boutte, to your point, injured, but he's been taking up a share of the offense. Hunter Henry kind of comes in and out. The running back situation is very confusing, to say the least. And now they get this Bucs defense. Bucs coming off of a bye. Bucs 2.5-point favorites. Bucs have been excellent on defense this season. And while they are somewhat of a pass funnel defense, the pass defense has been better than it has been in years past. They're a bit healthier overall. So Pop Douglas, what's he going to give you? What's the median outcome for Pop Douglas? Like 4 for 40? That type of game?
So you hope for 6 for 45.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to your point about Tampa Bay, by the way, while they've been a pass funnel defense, they've actually been pretty good against the slot, right? The 5th fewest yards per reception to the slot this year are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pop Douglas, he's made some big splashy plays, right? You know, they've targeted him down the field a little more than you would think. But, even last week where he had, a great game, he had a 33% route participation. So you're basically banking on these big plays. And it's weird that it's him and not Stephon Diggs that's getting this, but you just feel like this pendulum's going to swing here a little bit. I agree, more opportunity this week with Kayshon Boutte potentially out, and we'll see the rookie Kyle Williams a little bit more, but you've still got Stephon Diggs. Feels like it's been forever since we've heard from Hunter Henry. Got to figure he's going to get more involved this week. I'm closing it out on DeMario Douglas. He's my wide receiver 46. Just the usage isn't there. He's not a big red zone target either. I do think you should start him against me, though.
No.
Just for fun.
No, I'll start JSN.
Okay.
And Amon-Ra.
But Adonai Mitchell? Give him a chance?
He'll be on my bench as well. No, you'll get the A-listers.
Our last one, guys. T.J. Hockenson is our tight end. He's got the Ravens. He's only got 2 games with double-digit points this season, but even worse, Matthew, he's been non-factor when J.J. McCarthy starts. Yeah,
here's his yardage total in his 3 J.J. McCarthy starts, 15, 12, and 11. He hasn't had 16 receiving yards in a J.J. McCarthy. You haven't seen him right there. I'm at tight end 17 this week, so I'm closing it out. Hasn't had a game this entire year. Obviously, multiple quarterbacks have played for the Vikings this year, but has yet to have a game with more than 50 receiving yards. And it's not a great matchup against the Ravens. Baltimore, last 4 weeks, 7th fewest fantasy points allowed to opposing tight ends. I think the Ravens are getting healthier and better. And so I have him at tight end 17. I'm closing it out on the Hockler.
All right, we are going to go to break. Pete's telling me he has a tweet for me. Oh, a question. You guys can read this one.
Jonathan Medici 7. Can Connor's dad send an angry tweet to get him on Sunday's show?
Yeah.
There you go. The people have spoken.
To be very clear, Jonathan Medici, we, and by we I mean me, Jay doesn't like him, but me, and I have more power than Jay when it comes to the Sunday show, I would love to have Connor on the Sunday show. We would love to have Connor on the Sunday show. We've discussed it before. The problem is that Connor Rogers, as you know, the hardest working man in show business, and I use show business in quotes, he does the pre and post game with SNY.
I'm a Jets draft enthusiast.
He's a Jets draft enthusiast, so he's not available to us on Sunday, but we would love him to come be with us on Sunday. Maybe one day.
Aloha Bricks is a man.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And said he's on the Big
Aloha,
Island.
bro. All right, let's go. Aloha, bro.
Oh, boy. Good stuff. Right. You guys are the best. Let's take one more break here. We got Back to the Futures, our favorite awards and futures bets, right after this. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code FFHH when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook.
The crown is yours.
Crown is yours.
Back to the futures. Jay, what do you like?
Taking Baker Mayfield 16-1 to win MVP. Bit of a forgotten man in this race there. 5-1 to get the 1 seed, the Bucks. And Baker plays Drake May, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford the next 3 weeks. He can kill off 3 of the guys in front of him by himself.
I'm looking at the MVP race as well there, Jay, but I'm going to back Matthew Stafford at plus 550. I think he's been every bit as good as the 3 guys in front of him this year. The Rams are going to roll the second half of the season. I don't know why he's priced this way.
I think he would win a vote held today.
I'm going Lamar Jackson at 22-1. I'm sorry, Lamar Jackson should never be 22-1 to win an MVP. If he brings them back and they end up winning the division, which easily could happen when you think about their schedule and the rest of that division, he's Lamar Jackson. He should not be 22-1. That's my argument there. So I'm taking Lamar Jackson to win another MVP.
Another one.
At 22-1.
MV3.
MV3 as well. That music means it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. For Jay and Connor, I'm Matthew. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.